Hey there, this is Gretel from Comet Customer Success. In this video, we will demo how to configure S3 object locking with Comet. We will learn what an object lock is, understand how it works, and we'll demonstrate how to set up object locking on Comet. There are two ways to do this, and we'll go through both of them later. Let's get started. So, what is object lock? Object lock is a cloud storage feature that makes data immutable, which means that data can't be deleted or changed. This is a great way to protect your data against ransomware. If your storage is under a ransomware attack, your data can't be deleted as long as object lock is activated. And you will be able to restore your data while object lock is active, so it prevents data from being deleted but allows it to be restored and relocated in the event of an attack. S3 object locking has two retention modes. Governance, which is permission-based, so a user with special permissions will be able to overwrite the lock, and compliance, which is time-based, so any user can't remove the lock within the retention period. Comet makes use of compliance mode object locking. So how does it work? Let's take a step back. Remember that Comet backups are made up of snapshots, which consist of data chunks. Chunks represent pieces of files. If these remain the same between backups, Comet will re-reference the same chunk. This is our chunking technology. Let's say Comet has done a retention pass based on the retention policy you've set, and some chunks are up for deletion. With object locking, Comet cannot immediately delete these chunks. Instead, it will mark these with a tombstone or delete marker. This changes the visibility of the chunk in your S3 bucket without actually removing it. If Comet can't delete this data, then neither can malware. Eventually, the object lock period for these tombstoned chunks will lapse, and at that point, Comet is free to remove the unused chunks, which have been marked for deletion based on your retention policy. Any chunks which are still in use by a snapshot will have its object lock period extended, matching all the other chunks in that snapshot. There are two ways to set up object lock on Comet. You can either configure it in your storage template or on individual storage vaults. The storage template would be more convenient, but it's currently only available for AWS and Wasabi. It's important to make sure versioning and object locking are enabled as you create a bucket in AWS and Wasabi, because you can't turn these settings on once the bucket has been created. Setting up S3 object locking on a storage template is super easy. In the Comet server, go to the Authentication tab, then click on Add under Storage Templates. Under Type, choose either AWS or Wasabi, as again, these are currently the only ones you can configure object lock on as a storage template. I'll choose Wasabi for this example. Here, you just need to enable object lock and then choose the number of days to lock files for. Remember, your retention policy will still apply. However, files that are past the retention period will only be marked for deletion while the object locked period is still running. They will actually be deleted once the object lock period has passed. When you create a storage vault under this template, that storage vault will automatically have the object lock settings you've applied. The object lock period can always be adjusted at a later date from the vault settings, but it would only apply to new files. Existing object-locked files can never have their object lock periods reduced or removed. Now, let's set up object lock on storage vaults for other S3 cloud storage. In this example, I'll set up object locking on my iDrive E2 storage. I'll just create a new bucket and just making sure that object locking is enabled. To set up object locking on a storage vault, go to the user profile, click on the Storage Vaults tab, and Add New Vault. Choose Custom, and you can name the vault and set the storage vault retention here. Follow the prompts and click on the plus sign here. I'll choose iDrive since that's the storage I'm configuring. Click on Save when you've made your selection. Here, fill in the keys and bucket name. Then set the number of days to object lock backups for. Click on Allow removal of deleted files to let tombstone files be deleted. You can test the connection to make sure the bucket is configured correctly. If object lock isn't enabled as you were creating your iDrive bucket, you would see an error here. And that's it. We now have an iDrive bucket set up with object lock as a storage vault. We have linked our guides to the retention policy and our full S3 object locking guide in the description below, so please check them out. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please email us at hello@cometbackup.com. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.